What's up, everyone? So the idea of wearing sunscreen is something that I feel like most people mainly do during summer, which is what I kind of had this kind of thought of before. But 2 years ago, I kind of had like a really big flare up on my face. My face went really red. Basically, I have this thing. It's like a skin condition called eczema. And yeah, I just kind of, it was like shit. And basically what I realised, I'd done some research and then found out that there's a thing about, wearing sunscreen every day. And I was a bit confused why. Until I'd done the research and you realise that basically wearing sunscreen every day will prevent you from aging, which is one of the big reasons why I think people wear it, and also skin cancer. And it's funny because I think that most people wear it because of the aging aspect. So there was this study that I think it was like over 90% of the wrinkles that people develop on their faces later on in life are actually due to sun exposure. And it's crazy, yeah. So there was like a really viral photo of a truck driver. You can look it up online, where this truck driver, also an office worker, but it was this individual who basically was every day working, and then one side of their face was exposed to like a window which let UV radiation in, and then the other was just in a shade, I presume. And you can see like a noticeable difference, right? So the side that was exposed to the window had a lot of wrinkles to it. Not even just wrinkles, but like dark spots. And there's nothing wrong with it, right? But the idea of like aging, I feel like most people want to look young, right? Both men and women. So yeah, and I kind of realised at that stage I'm going to try and wear sunscreen every single day. So I've been doing that for probably since early 2020, I'd say. Like applying SPF 50 or 30 every single day, as many times as I can throughout the day. And I wouldn't say my skin's good. My skin's really not that good. But it really is kind of a good habit to have. And that being said, I didn't have a skincare routine until, again, around maybe a year ago. So now I'll cleanse my face with this cleanser, I'll moisturise, and then I'll put sunscreen on. And that's pretty much it. Like, you can do all these other things, right? But I know it doesn't really interest me. So what's really important is applying the right sunscreen. So I thought I'd help you lot out and just talk about, and it's funny because Baz Luhrmann, the director who's done films like Great Gatsby, he's done Moulin Rouge. Even he had like a song that my sister told me about. This song he released came out in maybe 1990s, and I think it's called the Sunscreen song, and it's massive. You can look it up on YouTube and just listen to it. He's just talking about how wearing sunscreen is like vitally important. And I mean, if you look at him now, unless he's had Botox as well, but he looks pretty young for his age. So this is my kind of tips for you lot if you want to try and start doing it, because I think it's quite important. So the first thing you want to apply either SPF 30 or 50 or higher. I think there's a massive difference, but I think that's just like the minimum really, SPF 30. Do it in the morning, and you put in, so the amount you put on, you don't put like a tiny bit. You need to like, again, I'm not an expert, but you want to really put like a film around your face. So that means your first two fingers, you want to do 2 finger lengths amount of sunscreen. So literally just get the sunscreen, pour it on one whole finger and then the other whole finger. So I think it's called the index finger and your middle finger. And then that's enough for your face and also your neck, because there was this photo that came out of some lady who had applied sunscreen moisturiser on throughout her whole life on her face. but on her neck it got neglected. And you can see again the noticeable difference, because it's not just UV happens all year round, so even in the winter apparently it's even stronger, and so it's cumulative. So every day, even if it's not a strong weather, that small amount of UV radiation hitting your face, which I think it actually like damages your skin, right? All those small times it happens, if that keeps happening like 600 times in like over 2-3 years, right, that's going to catch up with you, and that's precisely what happens. So I think SPF is really important. So you do it during the day, put 2 finger lengths amount, and you can really use any sunscreen. I don't just use one that's really got like no fragrance. Fragrance is not necessary really to anything. It can actually irritate your skin, right? And yeah, just start doing it whenever you, in the morning, and they say do it every 2 hours. Up to you. Yeah. And you might be wondering, oh yeah, but sunscreen's so like thick. That's true. I had that kind of thought before. I was like, oh, I don't want to. The sunscreens I've used are really shit, and they are shit. But there's some shit ones, but nowadays you can get some really good ones, right? And they're like, some of them are liquidy, some of them, as soon as you put it on your face, like it just melts. And honestly, it's really good, right? And just really do that, you know. So in the morning, just put your moisturiser on and then put sunscreen on. And just, yeah, I mean, put it on 2-3 times a day. And in the evening, wash it off. And I think this is something that I really wish I started off when I was like 15 or like a teenager. Just because I feel like, yeah, it'll do some good. But better late than never, right? So that's kind of my thoughts. And I think if you have any questions, put it in the comment section. I also heard something about like any issues you have, right? You can like buy all this stuff. I think it's all the serums. You can buy all these serums, but you know what? If you don't put sunscreen on, whatever you put on your face is gonna still get damaged. Your skin's gonna get damaged by the UV. So, you know, you really need to make sure anything you put on your face, you have to seal it in with your sunscreen. And there's a thing. It's called UVA and UVB. So what it is the UV I'm talking about is radiation. So you have UVA, which they say is UVA for age. So that's the UV waves that age your skin. And then you have UVB, which they say is UV burn. So that's the stuff that apparently goes deeper into your skin, I think. I'm not sure. And it just burns your skin. That's how you get a suntan. So wearing a sunscreen is what's going to stop that happening. And apart from that, yeah, I think really trying to get in the habit of doing it. Again, I started off pretty late, but I'm going to keep doing it. I do it every day. In terms of the sunscreens as well, there's 2 kind of different sunscreens you can have. There's one called a physical and there's one called a chemical. Basically, the chemical sunscreens you use, they're the ones that will just, you know, as soon as you put it on, you don't even realise you got a sunscreen on. They've got some stuff in it that makes it really good. It blends in well. A physical sunscreen is what I feel like a lot of us kind of grew up on, where you put it on, it's really thick and it just like sticks on your skin really, and it produces like a really thick white kind of cast to your face. And yeah, that's a physical. Apart from like the application, I think the kind of difference as well is that a physical one, when you put it on, I think it's immediately protects you, but a chemical, you have to wait, I think 15 or 20 minutes, and then it starts to protect you from the sun's radiation. Just take that in mind. But really, just any sunscreen I think is good, and I highly recommend you guys watch or listen to Baz Luhrmann's Sunscreen song. How many views has they got on YouTube? Let's see. YouTube Sunscreen song. 21 million views. That's very good. I think it came out. What year did it come out? Doesn't say. But yeah, look. Yeah, I think it's kind of a informative episode, but I think it's going to be quite useful. Again, I'm not a doctor, but everything I'm saying, just take it with a pinch of salt, do your own research, whatever. But apart from that, yeah, start wearing sunscreen, I guess, and you'll thank yourself in 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 plus years. You'll be like, damn, I look pretty young for my age. So anyway, yeah, peace out and bye.